Today, we're diving headfirst into a question that, once you really let it sink in, might just change how you look at, well, everything. Are you sure you're not completely alone in the universe?
So let's just start there. This is a question that has kept philosophers up at night for centuries. How do you know that any of this is real? Not just the room you're in or the device you're watching this on, but your memories, your friends, even your own hands. How can you be absolutely certain it all exists outside of your own mind? This question leads us straight to one of the most famous thought experiments in modern philosophy. And yeah, you've probably seen it pop up in a certain movie about choosing between a red pill and a blue pill. It's basically a modern, sci-fi twist on a very old philosophical problem, and it's designed to push our sense of certainty right to the edge. Okay, so the setup is pretty simple, but it's also genuinely terrifying. Just imagine, for a second, that your brain isn't actually inside your skull. Instead, it's floating in a vat of liquid, being kept alive with a bunch of wires hooked up to a supercomputer that is feeding it all the electrical signals it needs to think it's living your life. Now here's the kicker. From your brain's point of view, the experience would be completely, 100% identical. The feeling of the sun in your skin, the taste of your morning coffee, the sound of my voice right now, it's all just electrical data. There's no internal test you could run, no special feeling you could have that would prove you're in the real world and not just a super advanced simulation. And this is where the philosophical hammer drops. Because if you can't definitively, without a shadow of a doubt, prove you aren't a brain in a vat, then how can you claim to know anything for sure about the world around you? Are you really listening to this right now, or is that just what the computer program wants you to think? All right, let's push this a little deeper. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, that the world is real. The ground is solid, the sky is up there, but what about the other people in it? This brings us to the classic problem of other minds. You see, you experience your own consciousness directly. You know your thoughts, your feelings, your hopes, your fears. But for every single other person on the planet, all you ever get to see is their behavior, their words, their actions. Their inner world is a total black box to you. So here's the heart of the issue. You have direct access to your own mind, but you can only ever guess what's going on in someone else's. You just assume they have rich inner lives like you do. But how do you know they aren't just incredibly sophisticated robots, what some philosophers call philosophical zombies, that perfectly mimic human emotion and thought, but with nobody home inside? This deep, unsettling doubt is the core of solipsism, the idea that your own mind is the only thing you can be sure actually exists. Okay, if you thought that was weird, buckle up. We're about to expand this doubt from the people around us to the entire universe itself. This next idea takes skepticism to a whole new, mind-bending, cosmological level. I want you to meet the Boltzmann brain. This is a wild hypothesis that suggests you're not the product of billions of years of cosmic and biological evolution. Nope. Instead, you are just a cosmic accident, a single conscious brain that spontaneously blinked into existence out of pure chaos, fully formed and complete with a lifetime of totally fake memories. Now this sounds insane, but the logic actually comes straight from physics. The idea is that in a universe that's run down into a state of maximum chaos, what scientists call heat death, things are mostly random and boring. But given an almost infinite amount of time, weird, random fluctuations can and statistically must happen. To get a feel for the scale we're talking about, look at this number. That's the probability that all the air in a room will just, for no reason, suddenly rush into one half of it. It is ridiculously, astronomically unlikely. But it's not zero. The Boltzmann brain argument basically says it is statistically more likely for a single brain with all your memories to pop into existence than it is for our entire vast, orderly universe to have formed in the first place. Okay, after all that, you might be feeling a bit unmoored. It's a dizzying place to be, for sure. But philosophy doesn't just create these problems, it also gives us the tools to fight back. There are some really powerful arguments to help ground ourselves back in reality. The philosopher Hilary Putnam came up with a really clever way out of the brain in a vat problem. He basically argued that the very statement, "I am a brain in a vat," short-circuits itself. See, for your words to mean anything, for the word brain to mean brain, and vat to mean vat, you have to have some real-world connection to them. But a brain that has only ever known the simulation has never seen a real brain or a real vat. So if it says, "I am a brain in a vat," its words are just meaningless noise. The fact that you can even think the thought coherently means you're probably not one.
So that's a good argument against the vat. But what about that creepy cosmic brain floating in space? Well, that cosmic horror story has a pretty serious flaw of its own.
You see, the argument goes like this. If a brain were to just randomly pop into existence, it is way more likely that it would be a chaotic, batty brain filled with nonsensical and jumbled memories. The fact that your memories are so orderly, you remember a past where the sun rises every day and gravity works, makes it incredibly unlikely that you're just a random fluctuation. A messy, chaotic brain is just a much cheaper cosmic accident to produce than an orderly one like yours.
So, we've pushed back against the doubt about whether reality is real. But this brings us to one final and, I think, startling turn. Let's put aside all the weird physics and metaphysics for a moment and think about a different kind of aloneness. Not about reality, but about morality.
This quote from Dostoevsky just nails a concept called ethical solipsism. It totally reframes that feeling of being alone in the universe, not as a problem of knowledge, but as a problem of morality.
The idea here is that while you can never truly know what's going on inside someone else's head, you can know your own moral world. You can know your own failings, your own character. In this view, your moral responsibility is absolute, and it's uniquely yours. The only moral universe you can be held accountable for is the one inside you.
This idea has deep roots, going back to the philosopher Immanuel Kant. He argued that the true moral worth of any action, the real motivation behind it, is hidden deep within us. It's often a mystery, even to ourselves, let alone anyone else. So we can't really judge other people because their true motives are a completely closed book to us.
So, let's bring it all home. Maybe the ultimate answer to the problem of being alone isn't about proving that your desk is real. Maybe the deepest, most unavoidable truth isn't "I think, therefore I am," but something more like "I feel this sense of right and wrong, this weight of responsibility, and that's something I can never escape and never truly share." What if, when all is said and done, that's the one and only thing you can be absolutely sure of?